I, 32M, was disowned by my family 7 years ago due to a false accusation made by a female cousin, Jenny. She claimed I SA'd her and it cost me my entire life. My wife left me without any hesitation, and it was lucky for me I had a prenup in place, so I never lost a penny. My 2 brothers, 3 sisters, my dad, and my mom believed my female cousin. My grandparents were already dead by then, but I'm sure they would believe the lies of my female cousin. My uncle and aunt, Jenny's parents, actually defended me. They had doubts when Jenny's story kept changing and they had evidence I was somewhere else when the SA supposedly happened. But, my former family refused to believe it despite the clear evidence. Online, it was complete silence from Jenny. My former family also kept the entire drama private from the online space too. I found it odd they wouldn't post something like that online or something. I later learned from my aunt that they all decided to keep quiet because Jenny told them to. Guess she would have been caught in her lies. The police were never involved as Jenny claimed I had connections to the police department. I was glad she made that claim since I was not prepared for any legal trouble. My uncle and aunt became my parents and my bio parents became Jenny's. I stopped being a brother to my siblings and Jenny became their sister. My friends backed me up since they knew from the dates it was impossible for me to be anywhere near Jenny. In fact, I was clearly at my workplace during those supposed dates. I already had graduated college at that point and had a job lined up in a city far away from my home city. The trust fund was already transferred to my personal checking account after the money was spent on tuition and supplies. I was basically ready to make a new life for myself. My uncle and aunt apologized many times for how their daughter ruined my life with my family. I accepted their apology while telling them they had nothing to be sorry about. They did everything to salvage the situation with my family and I appreciated it. Since then, life has been normal for me after the new norm has set in. Holidays and events were spent with my uncle and aunt who would refuse to spend those days with my parents. I found a successful career as an editor at a popular magazine outlet. It was a decent living and I liked my job. I'm glad I made it okay without anything from my past hindering my progress. I was blocked by my former family both via phone number and social media. Every update about their lives was from my aunt who kept tabs on them. All my siblings moved on with their lives after I had left. As for Jenny, things were different for her. She basically became crown princess within the walls of my parents' home. She had been living off my parents' income without a job and never went to college. Jenny spends her day cooped up in the house, watching shows online, and snacking more often. My parents moved out of the master bedroom to give it to Jenny. My parents spared no expense in compensating Jenny for my actions. My siblings were also pitching in to give Jenny compensation. That had major negative effects on their personal lives. Jack, 30M, had taken out a second mortgage to give the money to Jenny. Jack had been married to his wife who didn't like it one bit. My aunt believes it will lead to a divorce. Daniel, 24M, was knee-deep in debt from taking out loans to pay for everything Jenny wanted. My aunt believes it's in the hundreds of thousands. Haley, 26F, and Diane, 28F, had used money reserved for their children's presents for birthdays and Christmas to give it to Jenny instead. Their husbands are not happy at all with what they did. Divorce is also expected. Priscilla, 22F, was working hard at a fast food joint to stay with my former parents to be close to Jenny as her support. She refused to go to college despite her high grades in school, citing familial obligations. My aunt thinks that choice will have bad consequences for her future if she doesn't go to college. While I am concerned about how my former family is coddling Jenny, in the end it was their choice and not my business anymore. My uncle and aunt are my family now and that is final. I came into some recent drama yesterday when I got a call from my aunt. I assumed it was going to be an announcement about upcoming vacation plans, but, instead, my aunt told me the truth was finally out. I was taken aback and demanded to know how it happened. My aunt learned about it from her brother, my ex-dad. Jenny was celebrating her birthday with my former family in my old home. Lots of presents were given and lots of booze was drunk. Jenny had too much to drink, which clouded her mind and judgment. Right there at the party, Jenny admitted to lying about the whole thing. The reason was she was jealous of how I came from a well-off family with access to all the money my parents had. So, she concocted the whole thing to garner sympathy from my former family and get financial support from them as well. Everything went to hell at the revelation of the truth. The end result was, Jenny got kicked out of my old home and my former family were feeling horrified at what they did to me. They wanted to contact me to make amends and heal the burnt bridges. But I changed my number and deleted all my social media. I went so far as to change my name to honor my uncle and aunt for standing by me. They begged my aunt to give them my number for them to call me to beg for forgiveness. My aunt refused and told them it was up to me if I wanted any contact with them. I told her I was going to think long and hard about it. My aunt assured me I would not be heartless for wanting to remain estranged from them. They made their choices, and they should live with them. Especially the consequences of their actions. I don't know what to do from this point. I had been doing so fine without their help, and I don't consider them family anymore since they sided with a liar without hearing my side. I don't think it's worth my time to make amends with people like that. I'm alright with living my life without them. But, I am concerned about what they will do financially after Jenny drained so much money from my former family. My parents had apparently dipped into their retirement and savings to support Jenny, leaving them with only a quarter of it left. Daniel's debt was massive and I don't think he'll ever get out of it. Jack had taken out another big mortgage even though his income hasn't changed much. Haley and Diane were going through a rough patch with how they prioritized Jenny over their own kids. Priscilla had basically ruined her future in supporting a liar and had lost her chances for scholarships for college. I don't know if I should open myself up to more drama or not. Follow for part 2.